If you ask anyone on the street which YouTuber do you hate the most, they'll most likely say MatPat. Now I know that's a pretty far out statement to make, but let me show you this. Look at his face. Listen to his voice. Doesn't it fill you up with something? Hatred perhaps? Disgust, maybe? Or all in all just an overwhelming feeling that you don't like this man. Now of course this isn't evidence in the slightest that his hatred is deserved, but it does illustrate something. No matter what he does right now, most people just won't like him. Matthew Patrick, or as he styles himself, MatPat, is a 33-year-old internet personality who is the head of the Game Theory brand, consisting of 3 channels with a combined total of around 22 million subscribers. Now MatPat has not always been an internet personality. He started out as a YouTuber back in 2011. His first videos were definitely crude, not only in editing but also what he chose to cover, but most people are just like that when they first start out.
Okay, I'll call the owner. What's his number? Here we go.
His channel got slowly more refined as he gained subscribers, hitting 1 million by the end of 2013, but something else changed. So, unlike a lot of YouTubers, MatPat is a very smart guy. According to his Draw My Life video, he got a 1600 on the SATs, which for all the non-American viewers out there, is literally the best score you can get on the most important test we have in the States. So as his channel started to develop, he started to delve deeper into the algorithm, becoming a consultant for other YouTubers on how to grow their channels. With this new info and understanding, he figured out where the money was at when it came to audiences. Children. Before this discovery, his videos were made for mostly teenage boys, but again, that's a very specific niche to have for channel growth. So moving towards the largest demographic that currently resides on YouTube was obviously the best choice for him. The main thing I want to discuss here is how he presents himself in the Game Theory brand as a whole, and how it will end up destroying his channel in the long run. So remember at the beginning of the video where I showed you how much of a hatred you have hidden inside of you for MatPat? Some of you might be saying that beginning part was manipulative, and I'd agree with that to an extent, but just to show you how bad it is that some people hate him, let's look at this post I stumbled upon when I was trying to find an image of MatPat for the thumbnail.
I do not like this guy, he is so annoying.
Worst video is Overwatch versus TF2. The reason Overwatch is better is because they have more minorities and women that are playable. That is an actual point in the video.
His channel used to be good, but now it's just about FNAF and whatever bullshit theory that has come through his empty skull and just barely graze a brain cell to be counted as a thought.
Like I said in the beginning, the fact that there is so much anger for a person who's really done nothing extremely bad shows how much people just personally distaste the man, and I don't really blame them. His voice is very forced and generic. His entire style doesn't display a down-to-earth guy a person can crack open a cold one and play some Call of Duty Warzone with. It just screams brand. This hatred again is only founded because of that fakeness I just described. He's done genuinely good things for YouTube as a platform, such as doing constant charity live streams, which is where we got this glorious image from, helping out other YouTubers with their channels, as well as providing useful info about the inner workings of the algorithm to YouTube as a whole. But I know some of you have been thinking for a while that there has been some things MatPat has done that are shitty, and that is true. However, are they really career-ending? Now this is one of the more famous debacles MatPat has gotten himself into. He even got called out by the creator of Undertale for it. But let's just give a brief summary of the drama itself. So MatPat made a stream where he played an indie game called Heartbound. Where the controversy begins though is that he insinuated that this was somehow a part of the Undertale universe, presumably to get more clicks on the video, which I and essentially everyone else viewed as a shitty thing to do. People also criticized him for not putting the game link in the description of the stream, which I don't really think was necessary. I get it would probably be a nicer thing to do if you link the game in the description, but MatPat hasn't done that before, and most gaming YouTubers don't, so I don't see why that was pushed so heavily. All in all, MatPat fucked up a little bit. He corrected the mistakes as best as he could, so I don't think this is a prime time example of how MatPat is somehow a piece of shit. Okay, so I'm gonna keep this part brief. Etika is such a heavy and loaded situation that I want to treat with as much care as I can. But if you want to look more into the situation, I'd suggest watching the Right Opinions video on the subject. Going into it, this all started late last year when MatPat posted an image on Twitter which showed a slideshow he was presenting to a company, where it labels Etika's suicide as a product of cancel culture. Most people agree that he was wrong in the general sense. If you go down into the nitty-gritty, some parts of the situation could be fitting of the term cancel culture, but again, most people agreed as a whole MatPat was wrong in this situation. The degree of the response varied from person to person as measured by their personal opinion of MatPat. However, no large enough movement was concocted for MatPat to need to respond in any category. And I think as well, trying to judge the entire thesis of that slideshow, or whatever portion Etika took up on it, is impossible to do so with the one slide that we were given. But all in all, does this situation show that MatPat is a piece of shit? I think most people would say no. Now this is the most recent controversy MatPat has made, and it is probably the most indefensible out of all of them. So MatPat made a video a little over a month ago titled, "Who Will Survive Censored Virus?" Now, after you click on the video, he essentially says to his audience that he won't say coronavirus because he won't be able to get ad revenue off of the video. Now, he's not the only one who's done this, and I'm not opposed to doing that. Everyone needs that money, especially in these times. However, where MatPat fucks up is that the video is barely informative. Most videos who censor coronavirus end up providing useful info on the subject. However, MatPat's entire 17-minute long video boiled down to, if you have facial hair and you're old, that's bad, and you're probably gonna get sick and die. And this is obviously not new info for most people, even at the time. And the way he portrayed the info was just fucking stupid. Again, this is a very serious global pandemic, and how he chooses to simplify and devalue the situation by portraying it with video game characters with a very rudimentary concept of how to stay safe is a very shitty thing for him to do. Especially when he makes it very apparent the only reason he made this video was for ad revenue. Now these obviously shitty situations aren't really any grounds to be career destroyers. However, literally everyone was hyping them up to be. And this prevents a unique problem for a lot of the larger creators on the website, being too clean for YouTube. When a person makes themselves as clean as possible, it raises them to a higher standard. For instance, if I say fuck, it's no big deal. But if someone like MatPat said it, people would definitely be talking about it. MatPat has made his personality so forced, so clean, that people overblow every single situation that he's in because they end up extremely contrasting with the very clean and perfect way he's presented himself in his videos. Now, as I said before, I think MatPat is a good person. He's done good things for the platform, and sure, his videos are pretty annoying to me, but he rakes in millions of views per video, so my opinion on the subject obviously is irrelevant. So MatPat, for the near zero chance that you're watching this, here is the critically acclaimed, foolproof, 2-step plan to warm yourself back up with the YouTube community. So the first step is to make yourself more human. Your entire channel personality seems extremely fucking forced, which maybe can appeal you towards children, but does not make you any more likable for everyone else. Tone yourself down a bit. Kids won't get bored of you if you're not talking like you just did 3 lines of coke. Step 2. Stop forcing ad friendliness. I'm gonna give you a pass on this one for now, as coronavirus literally is just destroying the economy, but once this is all over, you can't just continue to force this ad-friendly brand image of yourself. Again, most people just view you as a very greedy individual, especially after that entire coronavirus debacle. You have multiple ventures that can bring you in tons and tons of money, like your merch line, your other 2 channels, your live stream sponsorships, and I can only assume you're in Google's preferred ad program because of your YouTube Red show. So forcing yourself to be this brand friendly type of guy is just gonna make yourself seem more greedy to everyone else. Of course, if you don't do this, when you inevitably fuck up big time, a lot more will be at stake, and leaving the decision of your fate to the internet, which is refused to give you the benefit of the doubt time and time again, who would love to see you fall, is not a good theory.